Hey family, thank you so much for joining me. So I wanted to talk with you about Eurovision 2022. And I know a lot of people watched it and said, they felt like Spain should have won, Chanel should have won, and Chanel danced her butt off. All of them were amazing. The music was amazing. Um, and I think, a lot of people say, well, they felt like Ukraine won with Stefania because they got sympathy votes. I would say that if they did, a lot of stuff is going on in Ukraine, um, and they deserved some sympathy votes. I think, yeah, it's really unfortunate what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. And I'm always praying that people stay out of these conflicts because um, I really think in the end they don't benefit anyone. Um, I would say that when I talk about the real winners of Eurovision, what I mean is for Chanel, and like I said, that if I didn't say it, their performance was amazing. And there's so many talented artists that were on there that got exposure pretty much to people around the world. And so the real winners of Eurovision are those who might not have had a voice otherwise, who might not have had exposure like that otherwise, to be exposed pretty much to a worldwide audience. Whoever could watch it, they were exposed. And so to get that kind of, I mean, how much do you really, I mean, if we're talking about marketing, you could pay so many thousands of dollars in marketing to get that kind of exposure. And for Chanel, Slow Mo and others, to get that kind of exposure, it's just fantastic for them. It's just amazing. And so, I mean, think of how many people are watching that video, um, Booty Hypnotic, now around the world. How many people know their names? How many people know their faces now? Whereas in the past, they might not have been recognized at all for their talents and gifts and things like that. And what I also think about, aside from them being the real winners, the people that got that kind of exposure all around the world. Um, and just a side note, for me, I think a lot of sporting events, actually, I think most sporting events and things like that are politically determined as far as the outcomes go. So that's, you know, I'm sure people can weigh in on that if they want to and say a lot of things, but I think there are reasons um, for these things. But that overall, the spirit is always in control of everything. But I do think that, those things, most, you know, are determined by politics. So, for example, if, like for North Carolina, they had the fires and, I think it was a fertilizer plant, things like that happen. Tornadoes and other natural disasters happen. And then I think what happens is, like with New Orleans when they had Hurricane Katrina, I think they ended up winning the Super Bowl, for example. So that would be something where they get some kind of relief in winning a major sporting event like that after a natural disaster. So I think, yeah, that the politics are involved in it. And I think, unfortunately, we don't get to see a lot of people's real talents and gifts and things come out in sports because, there are a lot of reasons. But for one thing, there are just so many talented people in sports, and there's only so many minutes in each game. There are only, so many spots on this, on the teams, and like who's sitting on the bench when, for instance, well, I won't mention any names, but when a famous athlete is on the floor, scoring points and stuff like that. But there are so many talented people. And not only that, there are so many talented people that we haven't ever even seen. So we have to keep that in mind too. Just because we're saying, oh, this is the National Basketball Association, and then there's, basketball or whatever other sports in different countries. Um, Soccer, football, what have you. But there's so much talent all throughout the world. So many people that we'll never see, we'll never know. And they're crazy talented, more than, you know, um, Michael Jordan, AI, um, Steph Curry, or, someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo, whoever, more than they could ever dream of. These people are talented, but we never see them. We never know. So I know I kind of got off track with that, but yeah, I mean the real winners are the people who actually got to, share their talents and gifts and got so much exposure around the world. And I would say, similar to that type of thing, that there's so many gifted, talented people in the world that can sing, that can dance, that can do all types of stuff, and we'll never see them. We'll never know. So I think it just I think might be a different spin, a different way of thinking about this stuff. That it's about gratitude, I would say, and remembering that there's so many people that got exposure that wouldn't have had that kind of exposure, that level. So it's, for them, I think maybe there are no real losers if they got that kind of exposure, and their careers can take off from there. So that's amazing in itself. So I just wanted to come and talk about that a little bit. I will end the video for now, but I want to thank you again, family, for joining me. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I'm excited to hear your um, feedback on Eurovision and who are the real winners, and who are the losers, or what do you think about the whole thing. And I look forward to bringing you more videos soon, hopefully helpful and useful information for you. Signing off for now. Love you all, and happy lightning fast manifesting as always. And see you soon. All right. Bye.